Welcome to Per Her Perspective, a podcast of raw, relatable conversations on leadership, challenges, and solutions in running a business, often with the support of smart peers. The show inspires business owners to grow, make bold decisions, and go bigger with confidence. I'm your host, Marla Noel. Let's get started.
Hi, this is Marla Noel with Per Her Perspective. I'm going to talk to you some more about how to manage people. Again, your job, you're no longer doing the work, you're now supervising the work, and your job is to plan, organize, lead, and control. Your job is to plan, organize, lead, and control. Planning is you identify what needs to be done, who's going to do it, keep the projects on time, and maintain the quality to what is expected of them in alliance with the company's values. And then organize, communicating what needs to be done, what results do we expect, and then following up to ensure that the person doing the job understands what the job needs to look like and do they have the right skill set and the right training to do the job. Plan, organize, lead, and control. I'm going to talk a little bit about leading and control. What does that look like? First, we're going to talk about goals, SMART goals. What are SMART goals? And again, we need to align with the business priorities and we have to monitor the progress. But SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And I find way too many times that individuals, managers have a really difficult time setting SMART goals. Just the other day, I had somebody tell me the SMART goal, I'm going to make sure that we're better at blah, blah, blah. What is the definition of better? It needs to be measurable. SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. It's up to us to help individuals doing the job create their SMART goals, and those should be in alignment with our SMART goals. And all of those goals should be in alignment with the company's strategies. When we set goals, what is the company focus? We have to help others understand what that focus is. So it's communicating the focus to everybody that we're working with. We're going to run the jobs in alignment with the company's goals and values. But when we're building and leading a team, some of what we need to do is identify the strengths and the roles of the people that we're working with. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? How can we improve their strengths, enable them to be better at doing their role? Then foster collaboration and trust within that team. They have to be able to trust us as leaders to follow us and do what we ask them to do. And some of what is leading when you are managing people and telling people what to do or asking people to do specific jobs, we're affecting their brain. When we're leading people, we want to be leading and helping them to be driven by their heart. Managing is by the brain, the leading is with the heart. And this is where trust is so important when we're working with people. And some of the ways that we build trust is to help with our team's development. We help with their development. So how do we do that? Well, begin with giving everybody really good guidance on what it is that we expect them to do and when, and give them timely, constructive feedback. And that is as soon as somebody does something, if it's really good, identify, wow, really good job. And if it needs improvement, that constructive feedback is not about the who, but it's about the what. The constructive feedback is not about the who, but the what. What is it that I expected? What was done maybe incorrectly? And what can be done to fix the performance? What can be done to fix the performance? So, and we're going to use a situational behavior impact. Identify achievements. We want to definitely reward people when they have done something great, and coach and guide when somebody is not doing what we expect them to do. When we're leading, most importantly, lead by example. In running a business, I was never first out the door. In fact, frequently I was last out the door. I attended, I wouldn't be absent. If I was not there in the office or available for people, it was because I was at some event or some training or something that benefited the companies. We are leading by examples. We're aligning with the company's values. If integrity is one of the company's values, then we're going to make sure that we exemplify integrity in every single thing that we do, in everything that we do. And then support others, support your boss. One thing I think is terrible to do is to speak negatively about the people that are your subordinates to your boss. If you're managing people, don't go to your boss and complain about your subordinates until you're ready to let them go. Because that's the first thing your boss is going to say is, well, maybe we should terminate them. Well, have you done everything that you need to do to ensure that they are able to do their job? You've done all the coaching that you need to do. Do not go to your supervisor and say, so-and-so is not doing a good job unless you have done everything you can to help them do a good job. And then demonstrate what you expect in other people. Demonstrate the integrity, demonstrate the quality, demonstrate the things that you expect other people to do. Show up on time, stay on task, be positive and upbeat, and then share feedback in an appropriate location. And what do I mean by that? If somebody is not doing a good job as a leader, we're not going to coach them in front of a group of people. We will pull them aside and we'll find a good place to share feedback and guidance on how to do the job better. We lead by example. We demonstrate what we expect them to follow as far as the company values. We should be first and foremost and adhering to those company values to be able to properly lead people, and then find out what motivates their heart. What is it that motivates their heart? And frequently I find that the company's vision should be strong enough to help people see what it is that the company expects. What is the company's why? And if you can get to the company's why, and if that's something that can lead the team with their heart, that is the best way to have people follow with their hearts. And then control. How do we control projects? How do we keep them within costs? How do we manage our time, others' time? What meetings do we need to ensure that we're controlling our projects or our processes? And then what communication are we following? Because communication, I think, is one of the main reasons why our expectations are not met. Bad communication is going to result in bad results. When we're managing others, it's not always easy to work with other people. We're all going to make mistakes. One thing I think is important when we're leading and controlling is to identify when I've made a mistake. I want to make sure I don't shove that under the carpet. I'm going to admit what I did incorrectly. I watch and I look for opportunities when other people are making mistakes to coach them correctly and to guide them into doing the right things. Our job is to plan, organize, lead, and control. When we're leading, best to find a way where we can lead others with their heart. In some organizations, this is easier than others. I know an individual that has a roofing company. And when you think about it, can help somebody lead with their heart in putting together a really good roof. And the owner of this business, Charles Antis, found a good way by talking about how we keep the families safe and dry. You know, he had an experience where he went into a home and could smell mold, and there were children in the home. And so he realized that's a good mantra to share. That gets the hearts of the employees involved in wanting to do a good job put a good roof on that house to keep that family safe, warm, and dry. There are ways, even in some industries, that you think, how on earth do I get people to lead with their heart? But there are ways to do it. If you can think about how it keeps people safe, how you keep people warm, how you keep people protected, and you can do that with your mantra, then certainly that is something that you can align people around and you can lead with that. And then controlling what are our SMART goals. How do we keep the projects within costs? That's something that you can certainly identify in your SMART goals or KPIs. Key performance indicators. We're going to talk about that in the next training. And then managing our time and others' time. And again, can be within the SMART goal or key performance indicator. I'm going to do this particular job and all these jobs within half an hour or an hour. And if everybody knows up front what the timing is or what kind of timing we're trying to beat or succeed, then that helps everybody do the job better. And holding meetings, that is, I see avoidance in the business leaders for meetings. And there's a book called Death by Meeting. But we want to have meetings when they're necessary. We want to hold the meetings when they're necessary. And I think one of the best meetings that I've seen happen is a stand-up meeting. Nobody can go on and on and on about what they're doing. We don't want that. Stand-up meeting forces everybody to get to a point. I don't need an explanation. I need to know what, where, how, why, so this can help everybody collaborate and work together as a team. And then we communicate frequently. What do we expect? Sometimes meetings, I know people hate them, but sometimes they're really necessary to be able to do the job and make sure everybody else understands what that job is. What does it look like? What are we accomplishing? What are we not accomplishing? And what do we need to improve on? Managing others too is never easy. We all make mistakes and we need to continually learn. One of the best values I would love to see owners implement in their company values is continuous learning, because that helps us all to be better at business and better at managing and better at leading. I hope you understand that managing involves planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. I hope this helps you to be a better manager. And I hope you have a chance to see other podcasts with Per Her Perspective. This is Marla Noel with Per Her Perspective. I look forward to being with you to talk about business. I love it. Study it, and it's something that if you study it and become great at it, you can learn and build your company to be great.
You've been listening to Per Her Perspective. I'm your host, Marla Noel. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss what's next. To go deeper, check out my book, Drama Free Management, a practical guide to moving teams from high drama and low performance to low drama and exciting results. To connect with me, visit my website, ocgrowthadvisors.com. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and perspective.